Aw, she left the bench while I was gone. Hey everybody, and welcome back to Hollow Knight! Last time... What did we do last time again? Oh yeah, we went through the Royal Waterways, emerged into the east side of City of Tears, and then rode an elevator up from there, past the King Station, up into a new area called the Resting Grounds, where we had a very cool dream and got a very cool dream nail from it. I wish I was quicker on the draw with scrolling over to the inventory. We already collected 120 essence for it, which the seer over there in the Resting Grounds told us that that was important for this sacred weapon or whatever. Not really much of a weapon if it doesn't damage anything, but I guess I haven't been over that officially. This time, I've got quite a lot of plans, so hopefully this won't be a very long video. I plan to start by going into these two areas of Forgotten Crossroads. Now that we've gotten dash and wall jump since we were there for the first time. Oh yeah, there's also a whispering root up there that we can now do something with, so that's pretty cool. I think there's also something else elsewhere, a certain foggy area with jellyfish that I can go do now. You say anything new? Nope, just telling me about the tall cliffs beyond the town's graveyard. No need to tell me about that, buddy. I remember that tip in my first playthrough, seeing it over and over again, not knowing what he was talking about, or like not knowing how to progress properly, and just never actually following his advice on where to go next. Gonna start right off with those whispering root. Excuse me, how did I not cling to the... I guess I was clinging to the wall, I just wasn't jumping for some reason. All right, here we go. Hitch. Did I actually show the whispering root itself that was here? I'm not really sure. Collect the essence, one piece at a time. As a reminder, this is not time limited. You can take as much time as you want. If you leave the bounds of the room, they will disappear, but then you can just go hit the root again and they'll all come back. You know, you can just go hit the root again that's all the way up at the top of the room past all this platforming that you may or may not be good at yet. I would hope you are. Oh yeah, I'm using Stalwart Shell, okay. I'm having to feel out my controls a little bit. Some of the charms do that too. Stalwart Shell and Steady Body are two of them. What do I have on right now? Alright, good charm, this, alright, and then this, sure, cool, whatever. Might also buy a charm notch from Salubra if she's wanting to sell one to me, because, like I said, I'd really like to get charms going sooner rather than later. Oh yes, I meant to bring up, but I've never remembered to. So, you can dash as many times as you want to along the ground, but in the air you can only dash once, then you have to touch a wall or touch the ground again in order to replenish the dash and use it again. The exception to this... dash and then bounce off an enemy, and you can dash again. That is very good to know for some of the platforming sections. If you bounce off of anything successfully, you can get your dash back. Pretty cool. Alright, that's the essence collected. I think I'll show what the messages each whispering root says if you were to dream nail again on screen once we're done collecting the essence. Such as right here. Please editing me, do the honors. Alright, so obviously we can now wall jump up this. But what if I told you we never needed to? What if I told you we never needed any abilities for this all along? I was lying to you. We could have access to this since the start. Because, if you remember, you can bounce off spikes! And using that, you can just bounce all the way into death. But assuming you bounce up here, you can bounce all the way past this, drop down through that little chimney of spikes, and head into this area at the very start of the game if you want. This is a nice little challenge that you can do for yourself if you played this game a million times and are looking for ways to spice up your next playthrough. I highly recommend doing this. On a subsequent playthrough, not on a first playthrough though. This area, one and only time in the game that you get told that you can look down to turn the camera up or down. I wonder if you were supposed to come into this area at an earlier time, but, I mean, as I just said, I wouldn't recommend coming here at an earlier time. You're about to see shortly. First of all, there's crumbling floors, and that's pretty dangerous. There's also spikes everywhere, and that's also pretty dangerous. There's also a giant dead body. If something was able to kill that thing, then yeah, of course this place is dangerous. Oh, so are those shell-like things not stones, but they're remains of other bugs? This place must have really been alive back in the day, like packed with people, almost like the frickin' state fair. I would hate to see it in its prime. I like the peace and quiet. I wouldn't like all the huge frickin' crowds. Everyone was even over in this random side area. Like, they all bunched up here in this random corner of the entire Kingdom of Hallownest just to die. Alright. I wonder who put all the spikes around. I know it was the level designers. I'm just trying to think of the universe, you know? I'm trying to keep immersion. There's a lot more of these. So, what? Is that... Did that one move in the background? Okay, no. I was thinking this one right here was moving. But no. I think that was just the grass moving as I went by. Well, that one's moving. Pretty sure that you can tell what's gonna happen. And if I could show you a little trick. Okay, maybe not. I think this thing's hitbox is actually there in the middle of the arena, and you can hit it with certain attacks. Didn't seem to work there, but I'm not really sure. This is the Brooding Mawlek. An honestly fairly simple fight, despite how hard it seems to be on the surface. It'll stand in the center, walk back and forth on the middle platform. It'll also vomit some of that. You want to dash past it. If you don't have dash, if you came here at the start of the game, you can alternatively bounce along it like this. Anyway, what I want to show is that if you get close to it, it'll raise up its arm and swipe at you. And every time it does that, it makes a noise. That noise, the you know. Then it'll sometimes jump at you. If it does so, it'll jump to where you're standing, and then the second jump will always go back to the center of the room on the center platform. Keep that in mind, and that attack should not really cause you too much trouble. Then, as it's idly moving back and forth, it shoots fireballs from up above. Just simply watch them, try not to stand under them. Hit him with Vengeful Spirit, do all the things you would normally do with bosses in this game, and you should be good. Right, there we go. This guy was one of my least favorite bosses on my first playthrough because I ended up beating him just by totally winging it, being reckless, getting hit, and like still winning anyway just because I spammed attacks enough. But if you take the time to learn him, you'll find that it's actually a very, very simple fight. Or, you know, a surprisingly simple fight. It's not very simple, exactly. There are a lot of attacks and a lot of responses you need to make, but there are much harder fights than this guy, believe me. That's that. And your reward is the ability to squish all the orange things on the ground. Yes, it's so satisfying. I guess a mask shard works too, whatever. I believe we will be completing yet another mask in this video this early on in the game, but like, hey, what I'm showing you, as I'm like progressing through this, I'm showing you ways that you can like go and upgrade yourself before tackling places like City of Tears. It's 100% possible to go nab, go nab yourself a full freaking mask, extra mask before heading down to City of Tears, and that might honestly help you. Those enemies are hard. I say like, oh, I'm upgrading really fast, but nah, all this stuff is accessible. Like, you can go do it if you know how in your own playthrough. I'm returning back to Ancestral Mount to meet an old friend, because remember that this guy was the first person who gave us a spell. He gave us the Vengeful Spirit. For every spell you collect beyond this point, he'll have something to say about it. Aho, I'm sensing new power about you, one that'll crack the rock beneath us. A useful thing for one looking to travel ever deeper. My third uncle used to possess similar abilities. He also possessed a ferocious temper. What a dreadful combination. Yeah, I wouldn't exactly want my uncle freaking desolate diving me the next time that I ask him when his taxes are due or so. I don't know, I don't have a great example for that. I just realized that's your bed in the background. I didn't really notice that. Don't worry about me. I don't need anything more from you. Well, I don't need anything more from you. How's that feel? Actually, while I'm here, I'm gonna see if I can do something. There is one tiny bonus thing to see in here. Oh, this I completely forgot to get before. Oh yeah, I think I fell past it and I was too lazy to come back up. So, there we go, I got it now. Looks like no. You see that light coming through up there? Yeah, I got a good feeling there's something up there, but sadly, we don't have a double jump. Gotta find a double jump or some kind of adjacent ability in order to do it, Gonna mark this guy in gold just so I don't remember to, I don't forget. I'm marking this guy so I don't remember to ever visit him again, no. I mean, that is something you could use marks on maps for if it's like, oh, don't go here ever again. But anyway, if we return to the hot springs, there's people using it. These two appear once you've collected the Mantis Claw and will be here on your next visit to the room. I believe if you leave the room and come back, they'll be gone. They're only mildly bothered by our existence. One of the few NPCs in the game to not attack us on sight. Isn't that nice? If you don't have the Dream Nail yet, you do miss out on some thoughts that they have about you if you were to Dream Nail them. Another weak one. I'd suggest it try its nail within the Colosseum, though it would no doubt be squashed in an instant. We'll see about that. You guys have no idea about the things I fought. You could also splash them with it. I love it. But yeah, if you leave this room, I believe they do exit that room forever, and you do miss out on that dialogue if you didn't have the Dream Nail then. So, very glad that I came around to revisiting this room at that time. Anyway, yeah, we've heard a little bit about the Colosseum. That one guy, Tizo, I think, was talking about it. We'll have to find that another time. Now with wall jump, we can go into this place. This is a little platforming challenge. There are some of these scattered all over the game. We've already done some, so I guess I don't really need to introduce them, but yeah. These take the standard Golem Worms you've been seeing throughout the Crossroads since episode 1, and multiply them by, however many Golems are here. I don't know. I guess if there's multiple Golems in other places, it wouldn't be multiplying by how many there are. They would have to be multiplying by like 2 or something like that. Anyway, get through it, and you have yet another mask shard, which plays no sound upon picking it up. Cool. That gives us a 7th Mask of Health. Already, man. This is what, episode 7? I guess it's fitting then where we're getting 7 points of health in episode 7, so yeah, sure. I love this random little corner with 2 Vengeflies hanging out in it. I don't know why, it's just... It serves no purpose whatsoever. You never need to go over there for anything. It's just there. I think I mentioned it before. It, like, fleshes out the world a little bit. Now with Gathering Swarm, we have the power to gain this Geo. Because it'll all just fly to us no matter where it lands around that guy. Ah yes, a property of the Dream Nail I should probably show. You can hit regular enemies with it, and if you do... nothing happens because you miss. Alright, I've decided I'll use it on a different enemy. Come on. There we go. You want to hurt me? Yes, I do. How'd you know? How could you possibly have guessed that? And the enemies have Dream Nail dialogue as well, though they do not stop the game. They pop it up in a little, like, status message. Because, well, you know, they're fighting you. You shouldn't have, like, the game abruptly pause yourself while you're being attacked. I wonder how that works. I'm assuming if you're in a dialogue window, the game doesn't pause. So what if there's enemies around? And this is when I discover that every single time there's a dialogue window, the room that you have it in never has any enemies in it. That would actually be a really nice touch, and I wouldn't have noticed it until now. Ah, yes, we have yet to buy Quick Focus. That is somewhat of a fitting color charm for where we're about to go next, so sure, I'll take it. I need one more charm before I can get another notch. God damn it. Don't know how long I've been going with this build. I'll keep it for a little while longer. There are some journal entries I'd like to show, though. Brooding Mawlek. I hear this beast crying out sometimes as I prowl the caverns, though I've never actually laid eyes on it. Who or what is it calling for? As far as I could tell, its voice is never answered. Probably calling for all the other dead Mawleks that once surrounded it. Zero! A life defined by tragedy and triumph, a death marred by sorrow and regret, a spirit burdened by sins and memories. Better to wander the world than be cursed with glory. Zero. Every dream boss once killed, which is what those guys are, or no, they're called the Warrior Dreams, not dream bosses. So that's something else. Anyway, every Warrior Dream will have a quote from themselves as their lore entry. Kinda neat. There's a particular reason for this, but again, we'll be covering this later. My next destination lies within Fog Canyon. I'm gonna talk to Millabelle first because I would like to store some more Geo. Why not? I'll store about... Let's do 1,200. There we go. Max balance is... Or not max balance. Our max balance is 4,500, but our actual balance is 2,000. Very nice. There are a lot of places in Fog Canyon where we still can't go even with our abilities, and this is one of them. Turning right around. But one of these areas along the side we can go through. I think we could have gone through before, but we can go through even better now. Okay, should be on the left side of this room, perhaps below this point. Aha, okay, I think this is it. Yes, all right, so here we have these, what are these called again? Charged Lumaflies, that's right. These are our hazards. We gotta dash in between them. They do not hurt you on contact, thankfully. One of the few enemies or hazards in this game to not work that way. There we go. Okay, just almost got hit there. Thankfully, it didn't, though. I think if you do get hit by them, it's a regular hit as if it was from an enemy and not from a spike hazard or any similar hazard. A floor hazard, I mean. Like, you know the type. You die and then you respawn. Or you don't die, but you know. All right, 3 pieces of life flow there. Like to see that. Hello there. What do you have? A Hallowness Seal. There's an oddly silent room with a fence in the background and 2 important-looking guys from the kingdom. You can dream nail dead bodies, and they do have some thoughts remaining. Lost. You know, shit. That's how everyone playing this game feels like. Okay, there's that. It's targeting the whole thing instead of just the 2 of them. Sometimes 2 different bodies right next to each other have different dialogue, and so I'm always, like, hitting them in different places to see. There we... Okay, I actually, like, pressed down on instinct to try and duck under that. There's no such thing in this game, though. Hello there. This is looking a lot more like Green Path, and you are a new enemy. I want to say you're called a moss fly, kind of like a moss creep, but in the air. Barely pays any attention to you, starts, like, idly drifting close to you as soon as it sees you. It will, like, kind of chase after you, but it does it very slowly. Probably one of the least threatening flying enemies in the game. Yet another barrier of shadow, and the other way is just a locked metal door you have to unlock from the other side, so yeah, nothing we can do here. Nice ground, though. Hit that. And now, with our power of a wall jump, you can go up this way and see something new. If we were to come here before without having wall jump yet, we would be stopped right here. And then there would have been no point to that. We would have had to come back later anyway. That's why I saved it until now. 3 guys right outside the door. I guess this is the tutorial for learning how to attack upwards. Ah! I didn't actually fully notice that was acid. Dude, this corner of the map looks so cool. I'm just now realizing. Look at how many layers there are in the backdrop there. Look at the sun, or whatever light that is coming through, the waterfall in the backdrop, combined with the light from inside of this place. Oh man, that's so good looking. I remember seeing this place, the overgrown mound, and thinking, uh-oh, is this a dungeon? I think I'm gonna come back later, expecting it to be like a genuinely huge, long dungeon area. But no, it is another mound just like the Ancestral Mound, and the Ancestral Mound was not that long. Even though we were attacking this one later in the game, this one is of a similar length. It's filled with squits. Knock them into the spikes if you can. There we go. And then take a hit. Okay, you can see something on the other side there. Only way to go is up. So that way we shall go. Oh no! It's time for the mini-boss, the challenge! Squits! To be fair, this can be pretty hard because of the spike floor below, and Squits kinda, you know, I would say unpredictable attack pattern, but it's pretty predictable. Like, you know exactly which direction they're gonna be going in when they're about to start. It's just that they all start launching at you at random times. And I think that's what's the hardest part for me with them, is whenever you're fighting multiple of them, and then they see you, and then there's never a consistent amount of time between them seeing you and attacking. Sometimes they'll attack straight away, sometimes they'll fly towards you for like 5 seconds first. I think it's random when they start attacking, and that's what always trips me up. And no, like, seeing the telegraph before the attack comes out somehow doesn't help, even though it totally should. Wow, this corner must be extra shiny. Fall down. Hit you. Knock that away. And at the end of here... Oh, it looks like it wants to be fed something, like a huge burger or something. Let's take this mysterious device we found at the end of this random overgrown mound. What could go wrong? Ah! Consumed the Howling Wraiths. Tap the soul button while holding up to unleash the wraiths. Spells to deplete soul, replenish soul by striking enemies. We now have a spell to attack in every single direction. Now let me go to a subscription inventory. Here it is. This is all 3 of our attacking spells now obtained. Howling Wraiths is a little bit out of the way and you have to go looking for it compared to Desolate Dive, which is in a much more important positioned location. And Vengeful Spirit, which is required to finish the game. I guess I just let it slip, but yeah, I don't believe Desolate Dive is ever required to beat this game. That's how open this game is, that you could beat the game without collecting that ability that lets us into other areas. Alright, thank you, have Dream Nail. Stuff to say? Hear me. Hear me scream? Well, don't worry. I won't just hear you scream. I'll let you scream through me. Yes, seriously, that's the lore behind this attack. You are screaming at enemies to kill them. I love that. You get so mad fighting them after they knock you in the spike 12 million times. You had enough and you just unleash your scream on them and then they die from having their ears blown out. Ah! That's such a great concept, man. I love it. I wish it was actually like a scream sound that came out of you, but I understand why it isn't. That would be kind of an annoying attack, or annoying attack sound, especially if you use it often. As for damage amounts, the Howling Wraiths attacks in a burst of 3. So that's basically like 3 hits an enemy can take from that, and each hit deals 13 damage individually. If an enemy gets hit by all 3, that's a total of 39 damage. It's better than Vengeful Spear for sure, but its range is really small, and an enemy does have to be hit all 3 times for it to count. And, you know, if the enemy is easily blown back by it, then it's not really gonna work. That said, though, against bosses, whenever you can find a place to use it, that's 39 damage on the boss, not bad. Considering the 15 of the regular Vengeful Spirit. And, you know, it's even more with Shaman stuff, but that's for another time. Now, I'm kind of curious of what you have to say in your mind. Or what you have to think, rather. This little creature looks tasty. I wonder, should I eat it? The others around here were awfully bland. And I'm gonna go have fun in here. I'm never gonna see you again. Goodbye. Oh yes, and I almost forgot to do it to you. When next to return to that delightful spa? The water so eased the tension in my shell. There's a spa down here? I mean, there's a lot of relaxing areas, like Blue Lake from last time, but I don't think that's what she's talking about. That doesn't sound like a spa, that sounds like a hot spring somewhere. Perhaps the Crossroads one? I don't know, the Crossroads is kind of a sucky place to be, honestly, so maybe not. I just mentioned that you can do this video, and now here I am again, not too long later. Tried a spell on my larger cousin, did you? Aren't you the charming one? She's not usually the generous sort, certainly not as giving as myself, but she does have that wonderful voice. It's no surprise her spells take on such an oral force. I'm afraid to say your cousin might be, a little napping too hard, let's just say. Alright, it's time to get started on what I've been waiting to do all along, or what I've been building up to do all along. Mila? You down here? Okay, you are. You okay? Carry my body, cover my shell. What meaning in darkness, yet here I remain. I'll wait here forever, till light blooms again. Carry, body, cover. Shell, darkness, no meaning, dangerous, still, remain, light, again. Darkness has no meaning and the light must bloom. We've heard some stuff about light here and there throughout this journey. We dream nail you. It is entirely possible to miss out on her thoughts right here. How much longer? Kill it. How much longer? Dangerous! How much longer? Kill it! How much longer? Kill the empty one! How much longer must I dig? So, empty one isn't far off from describing me. Hope you feel better. I'll send, like, a bottle of pills your way some point soon, but otherwise, I'm out of here. I'm just gonna go up into this place and hope you don't mind. Thanks. With our desolate dive, we create desolation in our path! Or whatever the hell. Welcome to Crystal Peak. Honestly, okay. Easily the most vibrant, vivid colored area that we've seen so far. Yes, there was also something there on the way back down. I hope I can reach it right now. I can't reach it right now. That's for later, I guess, then. But yes, look at this bright pink in comparison to all, like, the other faded out colors we've been seeing all over the place. I understand the faded out colors, of course. Like, it's befitting of this environment, but still, this area is such a striking visual difference from the areas before because of that. Our first enemy here, this is the crawlet of this area. Its main gimmick is that it's huge, and it's also very defensive. You cannot hit it from any angle other than its face. Otherwise, though, I mean, it doesn't really care about you, so hitting in the face might be considered rude, but, well, I need its entry. Sorry. All right, there's an area to go left. I think we'll be able to circle back around to this later. So for now, let's just go down. We have a weird little hole here. Not sure what this is about, but I guess people drop stuff down into it, and then it goes somewhere else off screen? Sure, that's what I'll go with. Because there's another one a little bit like right here at the end of this conveyor belt. These things are dropping into somewhere you can't get into. There's a hole that's too small for you to fit in. I guess. That's what I imagine is going on. Wait, at least. Anyway, here's a new little hazard obstacle thing. Conveyor belts. They work as you expect. Momentum, physics, and all that. I'm sure you know how conveyor belts work. You've been to a grocery store, maybe, possibly. Here's our geopile for this area. I like to call these ones amethyst geodes. I've been waiting to say that one, man. I don't know, I can't remember if I said it in the first playthrough. I may have, but if I haven't, then I have to say it here because my god. That's one of the best puns I've ever come up with, in my opinion. Let me know your opinion in the comments below. Or don't, that's fine too. Got a big open area in the background there. Look, you can see other floating platforms. Wow, floating platforms aren't exclusive to my plane of the scenery. They're also in the backdrop too, I didn't really notice that. You look familiar, but thankfully are not my luck. This is a husk miner. They swing their pickaxes at you and can alternatively throw them. Let me fix my headset real quick, and then jump. If they throw their pickaxes, you can... Oh, they also like to do that upon waking up at first, I'm not really sure. You can hit them back at them for a free little hit. Not sure how much damage that does. Might just deal your nails damage to them. I don't know. Might actually have to check the wiki for that. If the wiki even says or knows. Alright, let's go this way. And then, ooh, an upward path. Well, in my first playthrough, I saw those upward paths and completely ignored them for some reason, and then I got lost and didn't know how to progress the game for a while, and then I had to come back here to discover that I could go up the whole time, and I'd just forgotten, and that was pretty silly. So anyway, to carry on that theme, we'll start by going in here. Oh god, sorry, I'm hiccuping a lot. And then resting on this bench. Look at the crystals in the foreground going up. This is a weird little dark room in the middle, but I kind of like it. It's like sheltered from the rest of Crystal Peak, from the rest of the purple energy taking over the place. Should I switch my charms? Dashmaster probably not going to help. Let's put on, since there's a lot of things that deal damage here, may as well take you. I don't know. Lifeblood Heart is like fine, I guess. I guess Long Nail couldn't hurt. Great Filler Charm, and Lifeblood Heart, I'll easily probably just spend those 2 health points in an instant, lose it all, and then there would have been no point in me equipping the charm in the first place. Here's a new type of platform. Stand on it for a while, and then it will flip over, and then stay a spike for a while, then return back to normal. You can only stand on them for a limited time, or so you might think. There's another little property with these. Bounce on them, and they flip back to normal. Bounce on them when they're the spiky side, and they flip back to the normal side, giving you another chance to stand on them. I wish this was more well known. It would make areas like these a lot easier for people. But of course, you know, downstriking with your nail on things is a little bit hard to learn as a new player. So yeah. Wait, can I? Okay, I thought I could bounce on the platform itself for a second there. I could not. Thank you for respawning me down here. I was going to go down to this entrance anyway. There's another door up in the upper right corner of the room, but it just goes out into the same room, just higher up. We may as well, in order to explore the entire room, we may as well start down here. Oh god, these things are one of my least favorite enemies. What's their name? Give me their name! Crystal Hunters. I hate these things. They fly around and launch a projectile at you. Thing about this projectile is once it lands on the ground, I think you saw it briefly there, explodes into this thing that deals damage to you on contact. You can destroy it with your nail, which is great to know. It'll also disappear on its own over time. But my god, the worst thing about those enemies to me, let me just, oh yes, pickaxe. Pickaxe piercing kills. Worst thing about the hunters to me though, the crystal hunters. They have 0 wind-up animation before they shoot the projectile. They just look at you for a second, and out it goes. Out it goes, I mean. How it goes. Yes, out it goes indeed. Yeah, look at that. There's barely any wind-up for it. I think it had a little bit more the second time, but I only avoided the first one because I was constantly on the move. Here's the second doorway. Leads you into the same room. Don't need to explore that any further. Smack those. Up at the top of this room, we have you there. Defeat you. You somehow didn't shoot me a single time, but yeah, very nice. Those guys are on my top 10 most annoying Hollow Knight enemies list for sure, which is a list I should actually consider making. I think that would be fun. There's a grub in there behind a door we cannot do anything about, so let's go this way instead. Get hit by the pickaxe. Excuse me, I am not ore. Keep minding those stupid crystals instead of me. Alright, leap across. I guess not leap, that's just jumping, but close enough. Ooh, this area. Right, so I ended up going down in this room, completely ignored that the upper place existed. Maybe it was because I was scared off by spikes at first, and then I forgot that this place was here. Oh, I was hoping to, there we go. I was hoping to do that much cooler looking than I did. Oh, you tanked it. Good job, my man. Alrighty, hit you, more. Now, at the bottom of this room drops you back down below, down here. Now, there was an area to the right we could have gone 2 rooms over, so let's do that real quick. I should have killed those guys, honestly. I'm trying to get the journal entries. I think those guys' melee swipes when you're up close to them are the hardest of their attacks, and because of that, they're actually quite formidable enemies despite being variants on the standard Wandering Husk. Hey, now I have a use of going out the upper right entrance in this room, because it'll take me where I need to go. Can I get some height from that? Okay. I was hoping I could, like, bounce all the way up into the platforming sequence from there. No. Sadly not. Go directly across. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. And this area. So you can see here, the knight is holding out a lantern in order to light the room up. If you don't have the lantern by this point, this is a pitch black room that you cannot see in. Pow. There we go. Got you. Oh, God. Oh, God. Nope. Really? I'm actually really low on health. Let's heal that up. And then hit you. On my first playthrough of this game, I somehow, by some miracle, well, for one thing, I was in this area, and like right off the first room, there's a room to the left, and that room is also pitch black dark without the lantern. And I didn't have the lantern when I came here for the first time. I also didn't remember or didn't see that you could go up further into Crystal Peak, so I thought I was literally trapped here in Crystal Peak, between a rock and a hard place, between two dark rooms that I couldn't go through. So I decided to just brave this room and try to get all the way through it in the pitch black darkness without the Lumafly lantern. And you know what? I fucking did it. I don't know how, but I did it. I never even died going through it. I was able to, I had to go back to the bench to refresh my health loads of times, of course. Seems like I lost that Geodet. Never mind, it just came through the floor up to greet me. Well, hello. I guess the Geo falls a little bit farther than the room is sized. Interesting. But yeah, somehow I made it all the way through this room, past those two crystal hunters as well. And this guy. It was insane. On the other side, a mysterious large pit. Only one way to find out where it goes. Hey, that's a familiar looking structure. I feel like I've seen that 2 different times this episode. This drops you into the resting grounds and is one of the many ways that you can arrive here. We arrived from down below on this playthrough, but this is how I arrived to resting grounds the first time. And let me tell you, the reason why I feel like resting grounds being this very empty grave area that you're like, what is this place? And then it reveals itself over time is really cool, is because I had the coolest experience with this place. Like, as I just told you, I somehow managed to get through that dark room without dying. But on my successful attempt, I got hurt a lot and I was at 2 masks of health in this place. I dropped down into an unfamiliar location, found myself in this empty place, actually went over to that tram station over there, seeing the stag sign. I was like, oh my god, a stag station, yay. And then seeing that it wasn't and feeling like, oh god, I'm still at 2 health. What if something's here? What if there's a boss here? What if there's something gonna kill me? The whole sequence played out. I had the area revealed to me afterwards. All the while, I couldn't heal a single time, and I was like, this is the most intense, cool thing I've ever seen. That has to be one of my favorite video game experiences I have ever had in recent memory. This is just such a cool moment. Really made me fall in love with this game. The fact that I discovered this brand new, weird area at like 2 health, having just survived a whole ordeal in the previous area, and I was like super scared walking through it like something's gonna happen. That's the type of shit people experience playing Souls games, and I'm so glad that I gave myself that experience on something. I'm sure you saw this fragile grave before and was wondering what was in it. While I'm here, I may as well take a brief stop to see what this place is. Break this open, break this down here and see who the hell's breathing so loudly. This is yet another new enemy. This is a, what is your name again? Entombed Husk. For some reason, it's lumped in with the enemies from Forgotten Crossroads. Not really sure why. They take up the entire space of the passageways that they're in. When they see you, they lunge towards you, swiping their hands at you. That's about it, really. They deal 2 damage on hit, I believe, one of the few regular enemies to do so. So careful of that. I hear some bellflies. I also hear an item. Break open the ceiling, get inside, and pow. You actually broke some of this geopile for me. Thanks, buddy. Guess it's like a little stash. I guess I am technically grave robbing people, because this is a graveyard area, and I'm just coming in here and destroying all the freaking, like, things underneath buried with the dead bodies of the others, but, I mean, hey, their reanimated corpses tried to kill me. I think it's fair. Alright, let's not go to the left first. The left will just take us somewhere we've already been. Spoiler alert. Not too much of a spoiler, though. There we go. Oh, do you exist? Okay. God, there's 2 damage dealing enemies down here. That's kind of nuts. Got you. Shut up, man. Main reason I want to kill those guys is to get the freaking loud-ass noises out of here. There's another grub here. Not too hard to find. Breakable walls and ceilings is the whole point of this place, so be on the lookout for them, especially when you receive an abrupt chest at the end, because nope, we're not done. Okay, got an area we can climb up through. And this area contains a house and also a bench that you get to sit on while listening to this music. I love this bench for that reason alone. Who happens to live in this secluded area of the resting grounds? If it weren't for that listen prompt, I would have no idea that this was a person I could talk to. My own, this world, this cruel, sinful world. Why does she wake? Why does she persist? Le Maire, you cannot know tragedy as complete as shiz. True lovers stripped apart, two worlds that could not meet. And now, my led lover, dead so long in time, dead so far away. Buried, Moina. Aye, amongst its hateful kin that did deny our union, that did reject shiz, outsideness. To clarify, when she's saying she, she's referring to herself, and Le Maire is you. She doesn't suppose? Nalo, could she ask? Could she burden? Le Maire, couldst you deliver gift to her grave? The gift is maybe small, but the trek is long. She rests amongst her kind near our queen's lush refuge. Would such a thing be done? She asks perhaps impossible things, mad things. For Le Maire to take up such a quest would be a kindness she has near forgotten. Upon accepting this, you will be given a flower that is very fragile, and you'll have to take it all the way across the map to a room we have not seen yet. We cannot do this quest right now, so as a result, I'm gonna have to refuse you. You turn away. She should have expected such. This world is not one of favors, only of heartache. I'm very sorry, but I will come back and do this, because this is a fun little challenge. The fragile flower will break if you either get hit or you use a fast travel. So you have to take it all the way over to the other side of the world somewhere, manually, without taking a single hit the whole time. Maybe it's a good thing we can't do this yet, because we're not very strong. We don't have very many abilities for it anyway. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to talk to you normally. I meant to see what your dream nail dialogue was. Oh, nails and claws, why must it be so? I mean, you got a nail back there on your wall. If this is your house, I would assume it is. You got a nail back there on your wall. Why are you scared of my nails and my claws? I don't even have claws. Maybe you're not scared of my nails and claws. You never know. Could be the nails and claws of the ghosts visiting her at night. Must be rough. Feel sorry for you on that. Down here, we have spikes in the floor. Careful of that. Oh god, there's 3 of them. Something here? No. Yeah, just a black wall in the foreground. Oh god. And cleverly placed enemy comes at you from the darkness. That's that. Got a Wanderer's Journal in here. You look like you're inside an eggshell. So dark. Really? I mean, I do have a lantern, so I guess it is, yeah, it is. Well, I think this isn't a pitch dark room, it's just a slightly darker than average room. Hello. This room that is shaped like the statue that's inside of it contains a new charm. Soul Eater. No, not the anime. 4 notches in exchange for gaining soul gain per hit up to 19. And for filling a bonus vessel, that gets increased up to 12 from the usual 6. And because I never said it before, Soul Catcher increases the amount of soul given to soul reserve bubbles, up to 8 from 6. Soul Eater, I feel like it's just really expensive, even though it is really helpful compared to Soul Catcher, and you definitely notice its effects. You can get a use of soul from just 2 strikes now, I'm pretty sure. Yes, you can get a use of soul from just 2 hits, but it is very expensive, so I suppose they don't want you just like having a billion soul from a billion things. Prominent looking statues like this can also have dream nail dialogue. Let me rest. Okay, fine. I'll let you rest. That's this side distraction done. Now to start to make my way back to Crystal Peak, because we are far from done with that place. Oh my god. Whoa, okay, there's a 2-mask hit. It's worth noting that when you take 2 damage from an attack, or when an attack like hits you huge, something like that, it plays a different sound effect. It plays the instead of just the that you normally hear. This opens up to the elevator that goes down to City of Tears. We are right here, right now. So yeah, this is the way I discovered this elevator on my first playthrough, since I went to that room first and I circled around down here. God, there's so many ways you can approach playing through this game. It is so cool. This is an extremely replayable game for that reason alone. just the sheer number of ways there are to progress through it, and the number of, like, charm builds you can have. This game is so freaking cool. You're gonna hear me say that about 1,000 more times. Oh yes, I never drew attention to it last time, but I don't think we can check the map in the water. No, we cannot. I don't think, no, can't even open the inventory screen while in the water. The Blue Lake is positioned directly above City of Tears, and is positioned above the rooms where the rain is most prominent. The Blue Lake is the source of the water in City of Tears. It is eroding through the city of that cavern. Or the ceiling, I mean, of that cavern. That's awesome. Hey, wait, I can buy your charm knots now. Can I do that? I'm sorry, we're just going on so many side topics here. We're never gonna get back to Crystal Peak at this rate. Arrived to show you something new. With the lantern, we can finally see into this room, and we can finally interact with this toll gate. 50 Geo to open the gate. You do need the Lumafly lantern in order to open this, because that thing is not interactable with otherwise. It's, I think, the only case of that where being in the dark actually prevents you from looking at something. Those guys were in each other. Okay. I've never seen them in that formation before. Is that a bug? I mean, yes, that was 2 bugs, but you know what I mean. This also means you don't need Desolate Dive to enter Crystal Peak. All you need is the Lumafly lantern, and that's it. And then you can come in here whenever you want. Back up we go. We're now approaching this room from the bottom. Let me show what this is like. I wish I could, like, bother them and have them turn around so I could kill them quicker. I guess I wouldn't want to kill these guys quicker, but, you know. I need their entry, once again. Wow, you guys are hardy. Take 2 hits after that. Crazy. Yeah, I can't go through walls, but I can stomp on your head, I mean. Never mind. Oh, yes, I've been meaning to bring this up for a while, but I have not remembered. In the controls, actually, if I go to the pause menu, I can show this. There is a quick cast button right here. This is the usual soul button that uses a spell. You hold it to focus, press it to cast. But there's a quick cast button, and what this button does is it only casts attacking spells. I tend to use it over A just in case, you know, you end up holding down the button for a little longer than intended, and the game starts to read that as a heal instead of the attack that you want it to be, and so it doesn't end up attacking after all. Right here, there is the standard way to get up this room, but if we go the more challenging way, we can see we have a grub to save, so we're gonna do that, of course. So yes, if you ever had troubles with that, where like you want to cast an attacking spell, but then you end up using the soul and healing instead, and then you only had 1 use, so now you have less than a use, and now it's out, you're out of soul. There is a specialized button for only using attacking spells. Holding it down will not allow you to heal. For instance, I held it down. I'm holding it down just then, but it used the attack spell instead. Honestly, I do wish there was a button for the other way around, for like a dedicated heal button instead of a dedicated attack button with soul, because, you know, a lot of the time you will be experiencing the reverse issue where you're trying to heal, but then you end up casting a soul instead because you don't hold it for long enough. Kill, hurt. I want to dream nail these guys because another property of the dream nail. Dream nailing an enemy gives you more soul. Specifically, gives you 2 uses of soul for every dream nail you can land. It's hard to land a dream nail on an enemy, so it is a little bit hard to get, but knowing that is great because these new enemies can be killed only with soul. Nail damage does not affect them whatsoever. Crystal crawlers are these guys. These guys are basically hazards. They encircle platforms, and then they shoot lasers out of their backs in addition. If you go ham attacking this guy in the corner and trapping him in the corner, your nail will probably reach past him and open up a breakable wall. That leads to something we can't do yet. Or, well, it looks like we can do right now, because it is possible to make that just barely. Thing is, though, and you can also, like, on these lasers here, you can bounce on the crystals that the lasers are coming from and get, like, somehow, some way into this room. Thing is, though, you are not supposed to be here yet. This requires another ability. Actually, I feel like somewhere in the back of my mind, I remember this being possible. I didn't just trap myself over here, did I? Oh, no, Okay, good. I was about to say, wait a minute. Anyway, I feel like I remember that being possible, but I might be wrong. Okay, there's that room. That's an area that appeared in the trailer. We won't go there just yet. Trailer schmailer. Let's go the opposite way first. Got these crushers to get through. Crushing these will act as a normal hazard. You'll take 1 damage and respawn outside of them. These ones are faster. Dash between. get hit anyway, because I just messed up the timing. Okay. Gotta, like, dash just as they're raising up. It's very weird timing. Okay. There we go. Save a grub for it, and upon hitting this lever, all of the crushers will pause as the door opens. So you never have to deal with them again coming through this room. They're a one-time hazard. I like how there's two identical looking, like, wheelbarrows or whatever there are right next to each other. And two here as well. I suppose you would need these in a mining operation. There's that. I wonder what these guys are mining, though. They seem to be mining these pink crystals. Then again, there are pink crystals all over the place, so maybe not the crystals, but something else? Hello, Chris. There's two of them. Oh my god, get out of my life. Get out of my life. Fuck your life. Bing bong. Got you. God, you take so many freaking hits. I feel like my spells should be buffed. Like, they should start doing more damage just as my nail. That's what I think. Heal you up. Get the 2 remaining hits from you, or you had 1 more, and I turned on caps lock on accident. Good thing I'm not typing anything, or else you would have seen that. Riding up the sideways, or the wall conveyor belt, and we've hit an impasse. It's worth noting you don't have to press any buttons while you're on one of those things. You will just automatically stick to it. There's a gate blocking our way to the up, and there's a gate blocking our way to the right. Blocking our way to the up, listen to me. Hey, there's something in here. I'd like to see this. You, can't remember your name as well. I think you're like Shardmite. Yeah, you had Mite in your name somewhere. They crawl along the walls. When you get close, they shoot out their crystal spikes, which protects them from harm. I kind of found that it's best to just, like, hang out of their range so that they go away, and then go up for a hit, and then that gets around their defenses. I don't really have a consistent way of fighting them. That's mainly what I've seen, how I've seen it work. They don't have any attacks beyond that, though. Okay, there we go. Got you. I do like how a lot of these enemies are, like, the more defensive kind. It's not just aggressive attackers. There's lots of enemies that just, like, they put up, say, those spikes to protect themselves from you, and those spikes hurt you, but they otherwise aren't, like, coming after you with the intent of killing you. That's only certain enemies in the game. Not every enemy's like that, and I like that variety. Because it would make sense. There's all sorts of different bug species down here. Like, some of them wouldn't be this aggressive. That's that. Nothing that way. Ah, we got more crushers. So here's the Shardmite's dead body at the bottom. Okay. I don't have any heals from this point on going through this, but we should be okay. Get through. Okay, this one's a little bit harder. Because now, like, we can get stuck in the bottom platform. I think you can hang out at the very edge of this this area, though. No, you cannot. Good to know. Go. There we go. There we know. And then you have to get through the first one again, which is kind of mean, but hey, what can I do? Oh yeah, I think I forgot to show it, but I equipped oh no, I did remember to show it. I put on Grub Song for this. I also forgot to put on a charm for that notch. Well, good thing we'll be making our way to a bench pretty soon, so I can switch that out. You can go down below, save the grub, open up a shortcut, but we're not quite done with this area yet. We'll go back up there in due time. There were more crushers to see there. For now, though, I'd like to put on another charm. One-notch charms are pretty few and far between. I suppose compass it is, then. Look at me. I forgot I didn't have the map of this place yet. I was like, look at me on this map. Well, once we get the map, then we'll start having wayward compass value. Right now, it's not really doing anything for me, but you know. Actually, it does show where you are on, like, the zoomed out map. If I can get to safety away from those guys, I can show this real quick. Okay, it actually does show where we are in, like, the full screen map, even though we don't have the map of this place. And there's also the zoomed out map. I don't know if I've ever been over this, but the way I've been opening this map is I've been pressing the quick map button, the one that pulls out this mode. If you had a map, you can see it. If you click that button twice in rapid succession, it pulls up the full map instantly without you having to go through the menus. It's very great. And I think I should talk about that a little bit. I was meaning to bring this up in a previous video, and then I forgot, and then I've since forgotten to do so. But now that I remembered, I am currently playing this game with keyboard, and honestly, I think this is, if you can play it with keyboard, if you're on PC and you can play it with keyboard, this is, in my opinion, the best way to control the game. Because the keypad that you're using, the arrow keys are all separate, it's so much easier to hit things up and down intentionally. Where, like, Before, when I was using controller, my controller's D-pad was very weird, and it would sometimes register me tapping the right D-pad button as, like, a different... I'd be, like, going into attack an enemy straight on, and then it would register me as pressing up, because I guess my thumb was slightly angled towards up. And that made things really, really annoying sometimes. So I think keyboard is ultimately the best way to control this game. It also made, like, pogo bouncing on things a lot less consistent. So, yeah. If you can, I would definitely recommend playing with keyboard. Even though the default keys are a little weird, they're nothing you can't get used to. This is how, like, emulated games tend to control. Undertale also controls like this, too, for a point of comparison. Anyway, I think the one straight-up downside with using keyboard is the menu, rather. With a controller, the shoulder buttons would take you in between the screens, so I could press the left bumper here to go to the journal, for instance. There is no such button for keyboard, though, and I don't get why, because I feel like this would be totally easy to do. And I can't move the mouse on this screen either, so I can't use the mouse, which otherwise has, like, no purpose other than the pause menu. So I have to scroll all the way over to the arrows on the side in order to change screens. There's a reason why I've been always, like, scrolling to the left, and that's because I find this to be the quickest, because your cursor tends to be over there by default. If you go to the right, you're seeing... This takes a lot longer for the inventory and charm screens especially, and so it's very annoying. I do think they should have bound buttons to it. I don't see why they should have gone unbinded, but I guess they were just too into the idea that people would be controlling this game with a controller, even though, you know, controllers is something not everyone has, or, like, not every PC gamer has a controller. I know that, like, gaming is kind of tied to consoles, so it'd be kind of weird if you didn't have a controller. But, you know, what if you had every console other than an Xbox, and so you weren't able to use a controller just because of that? I don't know. I just feel like so many games on PC that expect you to have controller and use it are just kind of... I don't like that. I don't like having to go grab out the controller anyway, so I'm very glad that I changed to keyboard for that reason. Light. Danger! There we go on ever higher. I go, it seems like I'm doing damage to them with the Dream Nail because I hit them with it first, but I'm not. I'm just getting the soul that I need to blast them. Hello there! Finally, we get to see you. I don't know where my voice... That was a sentence I hope you enjoyed. Come to scale the mountain? I've heard tale of a summit way up there. Too far from me, though, and I'm not really one for heights. I guess I might want to point Madeline in this direction. She's pretty good at climbing mountains, and she could take this one on just fine. 112, very specific price, but now we have a map of this place. Look at how tall it is. We're currently higher than Dirtmouth right now, and we've been spending most of the game under Dirtmouth, so that's pretty cool. I like how this area, like, sticks up among the rest, so we can see all the areas we've been and all the areas we're about to be, as maps tend to show you in this game. We can do it! I was trying to bounce along the floor there, to no avail. Any area with, like, a big bottomless pit like that, you definitely cannot bounce off of. That would be silly if you could. I guess it wouldn't be that silly, but it would also mean, like, you could get to so many places you're not supposed to be without a later ability. So, yeah. I respect the game design that we have. Alright, there's you. I guess I gotta hit this guy with the Dream Nail. Eventually. Oh yeah, there's one other thing the controller can do. Actually, I may as well just demonstrate what it does. Hold on. Alright, I plugged in my controller and I'm using it right now. My god, this feels weird. It's like, oh, the vibration, I totally forgot about that. Oh my god, this feels so weird. Every dash vibrated? What? I didn't know that. I don't remember this. Anyway, here I could demonstrate. If you use the right stick instead of the left stick moves you around and looks up and down. If you use the right stick, though, you look up and down very quickly and you could do this. Can't do this on keyboard, can ya? And right here, this is the better interface on this menu. Look at how nice and quickly you can switch through these screens. And I'm having to freaking press the arrows every time. That's not the right button. I'm getting it mixed up there. May as well pick this up with my controller in hands. Shopkeeper's key. Wrong fucking button. I'm used to Elden Ring. That's where I'm getting my confusion. And that's also the wrong button. God, I need to switch back to keyboard in like an instant. Made in the likeness of a shopkeeper. Wonder where we've seen those eyebrows and those eyes before. Interesting, interesting. Ah, that's better. Onward and upward. Ow. That's what you get. Hey, I got their journal entries. Now I can ignore them for the rest of time. They were one of the last journal entries I ended up discovering on my first playthrough, because I didn't know you could kill them for a long time. I just thought that they were hazard enemies, which, you know, makes enough sense. It's not entirely obvious at first glance that you can kill them, especially if you hit them and nothing happens. Oh, I love that little corner thing in the foreground there, attached to that beam. That is so cool looking. The amount of detail present in both the back and foregrounds of this game are one of my favorite parts of it. Hello there. Nice to see you again. Ah, quite a view, no? I'm not surprised you survived the trek through these shimmering caverns. There's an air of strength about you. I suspect it would be quite intimidating if not for your small stature. Hey, short people can be good at things too. We're just not good at grabbing the cereal from the top shelf of the cupboard. I said we are as if I'm short in real life when I'm actually not that short in real life. I think I'm the tallest of my family, my immediate family. The second tallest, maybe. Something like that. Did it sadden you to see those miners below still laboring at their endless task? Even overcome, strong purposes have been imprinted on their husks. The crystal ore is said to contain a sort of energy, not as powerful as the soul the city dwellers harnessed, but far less lethal. Strange to know such ancient facts. I wonder from where my knowledge comes. You probably saw some YouTube video of it in the past. So the crystal energy is like somewhat similar to the soul the people in Soul Sanctum were using. At this high vantage, I could just make it out, the light from that sad little town. I doubt its residents could even comprehend the scale of the world that surrounds them. Bothers me so much you can't look at it yourself. It's fine. I can deal with it. So small, it seems. That's because it is small. I mean, Dirtmouth is very, very small compared to the rest of the kingdom. For obvious reasons. Imagine living in that town, though, and, like, not knowing about the huge fucking majesty surrounding you. Even in the sky. There's probably something up in the sky. If I had to guess. Okay, that is a hole, and this is an enemy that is doing some weird little jig before attacking me. I don't know what that animation is about. It just seemed to like bug out and stand there in place. Literally bug out, haha. Yeah, God, that melee swipe is so hard to avoid. I'm glad I got 7 health before entering here. Sure, I'll bite. Because I think we think this is a dead end anyway. I think it just goes to a blood sack if I remember. Yep, it sure does. Just go to a blood sack. Wow, give me my rancid egg. I need to collect all of those. I gotta catch them all. Rancid eggs, gotta catch them all. So fucking weird. Anyway, grab you on the fly, and then most satisfying vengeful spirit ever. Oh my god, I love doing that. Watching them all die. It makes me sound sadistic. Oh no, I shouldn't have healed. 1 second. Yes, I have to wait here until they're all lined up so that I can do it. I must. It's a requirement. Yes, before seeing what the glowy item is. Boom! Love to see it. You don't say anything. Cool. Not every corpse has dreamed Nidalak, but the fact that some of them do just makes me want to check all of them. We've opened the gate from the other side that was blocking us before. Right here. Actually, I think we've opened 2 of them. Where am I right now? I think I passed by somewhere, actually. Yeah, I totally did. I passed by somewhere. This is a cool area. We will come here in a bit. Not right now, though. I have another place to be. Yeah, so we opened this door. We got on the floor. We did the dinosaur. Okay, missed that door in the wait, I thought I opened something there. Wait, hold on. I gotta, like, go back up and see what the layout of this room is again so I can remind myself of what I messed up here. Okay, I opened this. Oh, but this wasn't even the... Oh, this wasn't even the lowest part. Okay, that makes sense. Bench this way. All right, I'll take that. The bench appears to be a noose. Is he alive? Is he sleeping? It's hard to tell. I mean, you know, I can just let you sit there and have a nap, but, you know, I would like to use that at some point, so if you could kindly move along. I jumped right past this door while I was showing off the controller thing. So that's that area. That shows how that connects. Sir? My light, my rest. Yeah, but what if I told you I need rest? You know, I'm one of the only people actually doing anything around here, you know? You just have a big crystal on your face and you pretend like that's doing you any work. Get up off that bench, you lazy I'm sorry, I will never disturb your sleep ever again, Jesus! This is the Crystal Guardian, a little boss fight. And I do mean little. He can scream to summon lasers from the ceiling that appear at random angles, but they're overall evenly spread throughout the room. He jumps around, he can shoot a laser from his hand. We saw there, jump over that, use the dash. You can alternatively jump and bounce on his head, which is protected by that crystal. Get around him. I do find, actually, this is one of the harder bosses for me to return to, just because I'm used to fighting this guy with later abilities, and then when you go back to not having those later abilities, and this fight, it kind of catches me off guard, and then I end up screwing up a lot more than I probably should. Dash, okay, sure, weird jump arc. Weird jump arc McGee over here. All you really have to do is stay close to him when he's about to shoot you, jump and dash over him. If he's about to shoot you while doing this, hope that he isn't, or else you're dead. And that's that. Not a lot of health, not a lot of fighting you. Honestly, kind of weird. That was like basically the main boss for this region anyway, and it was optional too. We could have just passed by him, but I suppose not every area has to have a boss in the same way as the others. I think that's enough of Stalwart Shell for now. Hasn't really been doing much for me. No, what, fuck it, let's go Soul Eater. If I wanted to use this and Shaman Stone, I'd have to take the 3 of these off, but I don't think there's that is completely necessary yet. Something up there we can't reach though. We cannot wall jump off of curved walls. Just go all the way. I was hoping. I love dashing just before you hit the ground so you don't have that little stun. You don't have to deal with that little stun. Hello there. Huge dude strung up in the background and a grub up there that's too far out of reach. Been seeing a lot of those lately. I wonder what that could mean in terms of, you know, the general game design principles. It means I fall into spikes and die is what it means. Or I get injured. I know I'm not dying. It's just still. I remember the first time I fell into spikes and like the screen faded to black. I thought I actually did die. I was like, what? I did not take a lot, did it? All right, let's heal it up. Get some of that back. Now we have a little platforming sequence to go through. Got these laser shooting things. Sure, that's my name for them. Officially. Those ones shoot at such weird intervals. They're not very even, so you have to wait until both of them are clear or clear for long enough that you can go. Then you gotta keep fighting the current on this thing to stay still. Jump past. You can jump in the middle to keep your position. Careful on these. If you need to, remember that you can downstrike them to turn them back to normal. And that's it. That was the platforming sequence. I didn't even take any damage during it. And normally, that's honestly one of the more intense parts of the game. I remember, I think on my live stream, I was able to get through that whole section with like 1-2 masks of health. And I was doing a Steel Soul run where I wasn't allowed to heal myself with focus, so that was pretty cool. Yeah, that's about how my heart felt during that entire sequence. I agree with you, Large Bug. This honestly looks like a Bowser boss arena. Like, we're gonna hit some switch to drop him, but, there ain't no Bowser here. Or maybe this is Bowser. He's already dead. Okay, fine. Sure, I'll take you. Nom nom, yummy crystal heart. I just ate someone's heart randomly. Sure, whatever. Hold a button while the ground are clinging to a wall to concentrate. The Force. Let the Force be with you. Jedi. Warrior. I don't know. Release the button to blast forwards and fly through the air with the power of crystals. This is officially known as a Super Dash. This dash will continue forwards forever. It'll only stop when you press the jump button. This does not really have any combat utility, but it does allow traversing through rooms to be a lot easier, and of course its main purpose is to unlock new areas where you can go, such as the little corner of this room that has the grub. Pow! You're free, buddy. Run along. Or whatever. This also opens up this area and this area simultaneously. So we're gonna go check both of those out, and then we're gonna end the video there. Oh, this guy doesn't respawn. Wow. Permanent kill enemy. I guess when the wall is broken, he's told not to respawn. That makes sense. Here you can see how you were supposed to clear that gap, but you can barely make it with your normal abilities. Now, thing is though, you're not supposed to barely make it, you're supposed to actually make it, certainly. Doop doop. You can just jump around that. Here's weird, you have to wait for the lasers to all be off, and that sometimes doesn't line up very well. Yeah, like there. Suppose I could have gone just then, like now. Oh my god! That was perfect. And this is the easy one. You just go through when the thing's done. Yeah, not hard. Not parred, you know. Not very parred. Wow. Someone big must have dug through here. How hard was this to break? Judging by how quickly I broke those crystals, probably not hard at all. Another new charm, Deep Focus, paired along with Quick Focus, which I have yet to use, but I will be using that at some point. 4 notches. It increases the time it takes for you to focus, that is, heal, by 65%. But, in exchange, you now heal 2 masks of health per heal, meaning 1 use of soul heals 2 masks of health. So it basically makes healing a little bit cheaper in that way, in exchange for taking longer. It's cool, but a little expensive. I don't think it should be 4 notches. I think it should be 3. If there is anything... Oh my god, this looks really fun. It is really fun to watch. Oh my god, look at this. It's like Geometry Dash level pace. Anyway, if there's definitely stuff I would change about the charms, it's not really their effects as much as it is the cost. I think the costs were handed out a little not too well. There are many costs that don't feel right for what the charm does. Or they're way too high for what little the charm does, or perhaps, in fact, in some cases, might be too low for what the charm does. Still can't get that. That requires a vertical ability, and sadly, Crystal Heart is not that, but Crystal Heart is a horizontal ability. Cornifro's already left this place. I assume he does that after you get the Crystal Heart. This also carries over into other rooms. It remembers that you were Crystal Heart, or Super Dashing, and will continue your Super Dash. Pretty nice. I'm going to be calling it both Crystal Dash, Crystal Heart, and Super Dash throughout this playthrough interchangeably. Most likely. Alright, there we go. Land on that. Cling to this wall. Get a shot here. It's worth noting, as soon as it's fully charged, this is final. You cannot take this back. There is no button that cancels this from what I can tell. You are committed to your jump now. You are committed to your dash. The best you can do is start it and then cancel it immediately like this, but you're still gonna go a fair ways first. Down into this room. Got more Crystal Hunters. Hate to see it. There we go. Got you dead. That one just hurt a little bit more than the average, so you know. Another grub to save down here. Very nice. Oh my god! You were like the outcast of the family. They didn't want you back home. That was a grub mimic. They look like a grub at first, then you free them, and then they charge right after you, screeching very loudly. They take a lot of hits to die and are barely knocked back. And then after they're dead, they're just a normal dead grub. They take the appearance of a normal dead grub to give you kind of like an emotional feeling afterwards, to make you kind of feel bad for killing them. What a despicable fucking creature. Screw the grub mimics. I'm gonna murder every single one I see and not care about it. This is a real grub. There is a way... Sorry, I was just checking to make sure you weren't a grub mimic by slashing over you. Anyway, there is a way to tell with a certain ability, but we will, I'll show that off later. As you know, there wouldn't just be one grub mimic in the entire game. Dash to the side. And we find ourselves here. Unlock this. And the weight of our tiny self carries this lift down to Dirtmouth. I love that little shortcut. It's so cool. Gives a whole new purpose to this random corner of Dirtmouth, which would otherwise have nothing in it. And, interestingly, Crystal Peak has no stag station in it, and it's because of that elevator. That elevator is how you're supposed to access Crystal Peak easily from this point onward. So you take the stag to Dirtmouth, and then you go in there from there. Simple as that. I like that level design. I love that world design as well. God, this game is so cool. This game is so cool. I love it. I'm just gonna mark that with something else just so I know it's different. Decided to pay another visit to Grubfather. Anything new? Oh, you seem to have made a lot of money since we last talked. No need to give me rancid eggs anymore. The geo fills my soul. Makes up for all the geo that I gave to the bank for safekeepings. 965, God, you are way too generous. You better not give your entire life savings to me, or else your family's gonna have it rough in the future. I'm sorry to tell you, but that's the way the world works. It's entirely possible that they don't use geo because, you know, they're not like an established society. They're just kind of grubs living in a little area in the corner. They would probably just eat, sleep like animals and not have a currency, but you know. Welcome back to Dirtmouth. I'm gonna once again be ending the video here sitting next to Bretta. 2 times in a row. That noisy old lift, where does it go? Up to the old mines they carved into the peak, I suppose. Have you been up there? Is it true that crystals grow everywhere you step? A villager brought some of those crystals back to the village once. I don't quite understand the allure myself. You can't eat them, and they don't make very good pillows. They hardly seem worth all the trouble for me. But they're colorful! They added nice spice to this. They would add a nice spice to this place. Did you know the caverns continue even below the capital? Few have ventured that deep, so the details are scant. Those who made it back told of impossibly old structures and roads formed as though the rock itself possessed a will. I guess we're gonna have to go down deep into the city of Tears some other time then. Check that out. And that's all you have to say for now. Oh, I totally forgot about this, but yeah, you are the shopkeeper on this key. What do you have there? Why, that's the key to my storeroom. I thought I lost it for good. How'd you get it lost in the mines? Did you find it in those old mines, perhaps? Very curious. I have no idea how it ended up at such a remote place. Probably someone took it and stashed it there. Very honest of you to return it to me. Yes, very kind. And now that I can open my old storeroom up, I can sell you some of the rare stock that's been gathering dust in there. These items may be a little time-worn, but they still retain their full market value. Very precious stuff. Take a look. So now he has new items in his inventory. The elegant key and 2 new notches. I think, honestly, I'm going to cover what these notches do in the next video because, you know, I'm kind of nearing the end of this one and I'd like to stop soon. Yeah. I'm sorry. Oh my god. Random cough came out of nowhere, no idea why. It's just how things are sometimes. I go in here. You have anything new to sell? Nope. Retta's house have anything new? I think that poster of us is new. Raising the nail, that looks so cute. Okay. There's another little entry there. I don't know if that's supposed to be like story. Probably story, yeah. There's another little story there that you can see if she's sitting on the bench when you first encounter her. I don't know if there's a way to see it on this playthrough anymore, but, you know, it is there. Hopefully I'll be able to show it some other time. In the meantime, though, next time on Hollow Knight, something's given me the itch to revisit the starting area. Then after that, we'll probably start heading in the direction of deep down in the City of Tears. Thank you all for watching, if you did, and as always, I will see you all in the future.